I'm Greg Witt, and welcome to the 42nd edition of the Gen Z Frequency, where we dive into the world of youth market and creator economy news you can use. Today, I'm joined by Hayden Miller, youth market specialist and pop culture fanatic.
I'm thrilled to be here. So let's do this. Starting off with our spotlight article, Meet Ripple, TikTok parents' new AI-powered music-making app that can turn a hummed melody into a song. This is a major breakthrough in the world of music creation. Greg, can you provide some insights into how this advancement will impact content creators and brands and why it's crucial for our audience to take notice?
Well, look, first of all, Ripple and apps like Ripple, they're lowering the barrier to music creation and creativity with music storytelling for brands across the board. So that's right there. Amazing, right? That's just groundbreaking every day as you see AI and audio and music at the intersection of each social platform. I think what this means, a takeaway, that what this means for creators and brands, something that's actionable that they can truly use, is to remember that audio, branded audio, music that's special, music that's original to the brand being a company brand or a creator brand or a combination of, is a huge opportunity to create this custom original music that sets you apart from anyone else in your niche, to drive interest, to differentiate, and just to truly enhance the storytelling. All too often, producing companies, everyone that's in the industry forgets, like always kind of seems that music plays last and music comes in last, whereas music's really the heart and soul of the audio-visual storytelling. And now that the barrier comes so low, it's just another reminder to think of music that you can brand, make original, make your own. There you go.
Yeah, I definitely think brands and content creators, especially short form content creators, will be all over this. Definitely wondering if this will level the playing field or disrupt the traditional model of musical production. We all know those.
Yeah, it does. It also comes with controversy and legal issues. There's a lot to navigate, but yeah.
Yeah. Moving on to the 2023 Youth Trends Report and what you need to know. Our friends and colleagues at Voxburner recently released their Youth Trends Report for 2023. Here are some highlights we found interesting to dive into. First up, we have the de-Instagramification of influencers. It seems that between all the influencer scandals and background checks on creators, Gen Z is losing faith. 30% of respondents say they have more trust in TikTok creators than the ones on other platforms. 12% of engagement with influencers has dropped since the pandemic hit, and a whopping 55% of Gen Zers think influencers receive unfair advantages. Ouch.
The de-Instagramification, but the de-influencing of influencers, like, it's just when you're working with influencers, the shout out, the stuff that's one-off influencer and influencer engagements, things that aren't obviously well connected to the individual, the talent, the person of influence with that brand, with that company, with that particular experience. If you're not on point there, it's probably not going to work. And if it's not happening over time as a relationship with that particular talent, it's going to be harder to make that work. Whether I believe that people trust more in TikTok creators than on other platforms, so much of this data that becomes self-reporting, you have to take a closer look at examining how the data is collected and so on and so forth. It could be true with that particular group, and a little bit different with teens or a little bit different with older young adults. So you have to take all of that into equation. I think that the whole report by my colleagues at Voxburner is relevant. It shines a light on a lot of really insightful areas. It's definitely worth clicking the little yellow hand that points to Youth Trend Reports 2023 in our newsletter and diving in. There's a lot of great insights in there. But read between the lines with any of this data, because most data has some kind of an agenda behind it. We'll get more into that when we get into Newsbites.
Next, we have the issue of sustainability versus price, generational conflicts, and the way to Gen Z loyalty. 77% of youth audiences would prefer to buy from a sustainable brand. 74% are looking for cheaper product alternatives, and with 83% having already cut back on non-essential spending, it's clear that finances are pretty important. It seems the key to Gen Z loyalty lies in a balance between cost and quality. So, in what ways can our listeners apply these insights to their own strategies, Greg?
They can first of all understand that most youth data collection can just be hypocritical at every juncture, right? So that doesn't mean that ethical, good labor, sustainability is not important. It doesn't mean that at all. It just means that for brands, it's all about navigating the struggle of striking the balance of truly delivering on anything that you do or say that is sustainability, something ethical, whatever the transparency is, to show people that you're not making something sketchy, that you're not making something that's dangerous, you're not making something that's taking advantage of people. Look, people want to get things that they can access. And if you can make that as transparent and good and positive an experience for everyone along the way, more power to you. It's not always going to be that way. Everyone's different. The cohort isn't one big herd of sheep either, right? So this is coming down to knowing who you're talking to and that you're not going to please everybody. Let's keep moving.
Totally. Moving on to the influence marketing quote. So what do you think readers can learn from this quote, Greg?
Yeah, it sounds like I'm the guy who wrote the quote, came out of my head. I think at the end of the day, it kind of connects also to so many of the aspects or the themes of this particular newsletter. If you want to connect with targeted groups of young people, you have to know the targeted groups of young people that you're trying to seek. And the insight from the quote is that it requires being in with, connecting with, employing and partnering with the right people that know how to navigate the endemic aspects of nuances of the cultural group you're trying to reach, but that also understand your company and your corporate culture and your category. And it's when those two, major areas are connected seamlessly is when effective results can be produced.
Perfect. Now on to the Gen Z and creator marketing strategy talk. Ambassadorship matters. How Glossier paired action sports marketing strategies with an Avon business model and why it still holds relevance today. Glossier is definitely an interesting brand that has rose, crashed, and has made a huge comeback. So what makes their story still relevant today? And I guess what can our readers learn from them?
Yeah, it's just the crash and burn and come back up roller coaster ride story would be interesting. But I think that the timeless story of how Glossier, it says in here that they borrowed inspiration from the action sports marketing. Whether they did or not, that's our perspective. It seems as if they did, just in the fact that what they did was made direct relationships with people at all seats of the purchasing decision. And they went very direct. They weren't trying to just go with big name influencers direct to retail. They wanted this to utilize that Avon style person to person affiliate marketing, direct marketing approach, and made the people, not necessarily influencers, although there were some people of influence, they empowered them to be the sales force, to be the people that drove the marketing. And I think that type of approach is still timeless. It still works by leveraging true brand advocates to attract new customers who want to be a part of your brand's experience and aligning with those same principles. I'll leave it there. And hopefully somebody got some value out of that.
Yeah. Now moving on to our youth empowerment corner with Miss Alix Earle. And usually not everyone we highlight is this popular, but her creating this scholarship, it's kind of setting the standard for these TikTok stars to start something, start programs that start action and help people and help tomorrow. She's giving back. She's wildly popular. She's helping young people. And yeah, that's all I got to say about her. Let's move on to our industry news bites.
Hey, so starting with TikTok for a few moments this week, the platform was in this spotlight in terms of, and it's always in the spotlight, but what we're shining a light on is that they're building up an actual youth council now to give young people a seat at the table that aren't necessarily like an influencer talent or creators, and taking their advice and some of their ideas to help innovate how the platform makes it a safer place for young audience following, rising concerns, pushback on mental health and self-image effects on teens. They are also, I guess, apparently getting rid of TikTok now, and they have calling all video creatives. The short form video platform is open to creative challenge where you can create branded content and potentially get paid for it. So they're doing as much as they can. Maybe they should be doing more, but they are definitely actively chasing YouTube, chasing Snapchat, and trying to lead the way to get more and more creators to be, paid for, compensated for, and inspired to create content and taken care of. So that's always a good thing. And every time there's any kind of program, even if it's kind of crappy, or if they're really, really well-structured, effective ones, they're putting money back in the creators' pockets, I'm all for it. Social media update. I mean, hey, on Instagram, up to 3 collaborators can now engage in a post. Pretty cool. Snapchat, we have linked to Snapchat's one of their new studies on what they perceive that Gen Z wants from brands. Like most of the Snapchat studies are pretty solid. Just know that they're trying to get advertisers with their agenda, but their data tends to be pretty darn good. What else have we got in here that we want to jump on to?
I'll talk about the news in the fashion industry. Let's do it. So, Kid Cudi recently teased his upcoming collab with Mischief at his performance at the Summer Smash Music Festival in Chicago. Mischief is definitely known to push the boundaries in the fashion industry. So I'm very excited to see what this collab creates. I know I'll be on the lookout for it, as I'm a huge fan of Kid Cudi's music and his other fashion endeavors with like Kids See Ghosts, Cactus Plant, Flea Market, and all of that. So moving on, we got Spotify and UNICEF collaborating to harness the power of music and educate on mental health matters to people under extremely stressful circumstances.
Hell yeah, man. We can't get enough of that.
No, it's so important. And let's shift our focus now to our self-audit. Greg, if you could do the honors.
We'll take our self-audit, take the Make Your Creators Ambassador Marketing Challenge. Give each question a no, yeah, or hell yeah, and write it down. No equals 0 points, yeah equals 5 points, and hell yeah equals 10 points. Question number 1. Are you actively fostering genuine relationships with influencer and creator talent to make them true ambassadors for your brand? Are you going past the one-off? Is it a real relationship? Question 2, do your influencers and creators feel valued and supported as brand advocates, regardless of their popularity or stature? Do they feel valued and supported by you, the brand, the company? 3, are you providing your talent as ambassadors with ambassador tools, resources, and exclusive access to effectively promote your brand? And number 4, are your influencers or creators, is your talent authentically representing your brand, the messaging and the identity in their content and the overall experience? And last but not least, question 5, are you consistently engaging with these influencer or creators as ambassadors and nurturing a sense of community, trust, and loyalty around your brand? And if you're not, you probably should go back to the drawing board. But anyways, if you scored 25 points or more, you're probably doing something right or on the right track. If you score less, well, we get it. And you can give us a DM, an email, a text, a carrier pigeon, and we'd be happy to help.
We're stoked that you've tuned in for this week's edition of the Gen Z Frequency newsletter. If you loved what you heard, and let's be real, who wouldn't, hit that subscribe button and share the love with your colleagues or friends who would also benefit from some youth market and creator economy news. Stay tuned because we've got more in store for you next week. So until we meet again, keep it cool and stay amazing.